Continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, and Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie.
Midnight in Peyton Place. The square is deserted, but a light burns in an office window where George Anderson has barricaded himself against the world.
All right, boys, I got me my foxhole. Now you try and put me out.
Who is it?
Elliot Carson. And you're my tenant, Dr. Rossi.
Yes, would you like to come inside?
Thank you.
I'll be with you in a minute. Well, can I fix you a drink?
Thanks, yes. I'd like some whiskey, a little water.
I was halfway expecting you. I suppose you came to talk about the house.
Well, it started out as a walk across the dunes.
In the snow?
Well, a walk at night under any circumstances is somewhat of a novelty for me.
Yes, I guess it is.
See, daytime is bad enough in prison, but nighttime's when it really gets you. You're never alone, you know. The only thing you can do is just lie there and think.
Yes, well, now that you're back, what are your plans for the cottage?
Well, it needs a coat of paint.
Yes, I know that. I didn't want to bother your father with that. He's not too strong right now.
Oh, I'll take care of that. I've thought about this place a lot in prison. My grandfather built this house. He retired from the sea. Carved that scrimshaw work with his own hands. That compass, barometer, and some of the fittings around here, they're off his last ship. I remember when I was a kid, I used to stand next to him here with a compass, and I'd help the old man steer a course around the Horn. And the wind would howl around the corners of this place, so we'd send the men aloft, have them reef it in for a blow. I love that old man. I suppose you think that's not the only memory I have of this place.
Well, frankly, I was surprised that you wanted to come back here.
Because of what happened to my wife? It doesn't bother you?
Well, I didn't know any of the people involved.
Well, a lot of things happen in this room. I'd rather remember the wind blowing through the rigging.
I suppose you want the cottage back, then?
I want to think about it. Thanks for this. Good night.
Oh, good night.
Anderson? I know you're in there, Mr. Anderson. Will you unlock the door? This is Howard King. Mr. Anderson? Mr. Anderson? Anderson, what's going on in there? Mr. Anderson? Mr. Anderson? Will you let me in? This is foolish, Mr. Anderson. Will you remove those things from the door? Come on, Mr. Anderson, be reasonable. Anderson, what are you trying to pull? Come on, let me in.
For you, Julie. Thank you.
Yes? Yes, this is Mrs. Anderson. Mr. Howard King. Yes. Yes. I see. I understand, Mr. King. Mr. King, I appreciate your position, but please don't do anything until I get there. Yes, I'll be right over.
What's happened?
That was some man from the realty office named King or something. George is in trouble. Look, he's been in the office all night. He won't let anyone in. I've got to go down right
Now, wait a minute.
Honey, you don't understand. Mr. King tried to evict George. George has locked himself in, and he's pushed all the furniture right in front of the door. Connie, he's got a gun in that office. A Japanese automatic. He brought it back from the war. Look, would you call Dr. Rossi? Ask him to meet me there.
Are you sure he has a gun?
He keeps it in the desk drawer.
Connie, I think we better go up alone. George? George, it's Mike Rossi. Would you let me in? George! George? George? George. Go ahead, Julie. Quietly.
George. George, it's Julie. Let me in. Please, George. For me? out and shot himself. George! George!
Willie?
Hey! Somebody help me open this door!
Willie? We don't know he shot himself. We heard a shot, that's all. I was shot.
George Anderson barricaded himself inside.
He shot himself, I know he did.
Well, we're not sure of that. We know he has a gun.
Listen, I had a long talk with George yesterday. I think I know how we can get to him. George? George, is me, Elliot Carson. George, put the gun away.
Identify yourself, soldier.
I'm your buddy, Elliot Carson.
Never heard of you, soldier. Take off.
Sergeant Anderson. I'm your reinforcements.
I can hold this position all by myself.
You're pinned down. They're ready to make a counterattack. You and me can hold this position forever.
Okay. But I'm giving the orders.
Whatever you say, Sergeant Anderson.
Get that stuff back up against the door.
They're moving up new troops.
Yeah. Hey, keep away from the windows. There's snipers in every one of those buildings.
We better start digging in then, hadn't we, Sarge?
I think you're right.
That's the idea.
Well, Anderson has a gun. We know that. He's in a disturbed mental state, but Carson's the only one who can talk to him. I think if we give him a chance, we can avoid any further shooting. Okay, buddy. Now, I've got to brief you. We have a very strong position here. They can't outflank us. Neither can they sneak up from behind.
Oh, okay, Mr. Swain.
Oh, Matt.
What's going on, Michael?
Now, if anybody tries to get through that door, we've got a clear field of fire.
There's only one thing wrong. You haven't got any food or water.
I'll think about that later.
You gotta think about it now.
We will wait for nightfall and then move out under cover of darkness.
Sounds good.
You don't spend 4 years in the Pacific without learning how to handle these cookies.
What happened to this?
It kept ringing.
Hey, get a load of this, will you?
Get down.
What? I'm sorry, George.
Oh, Elliot. I was a man during the war. For a minute when I was barricading that door, it all came back. And he's gone now. Oh, I must be ready for Section 8.
All right, Doctor. Whatever you decide, George will go along with it.
Well, I'll take him to the hospital in my car. I'd like my buddy to go along with me.
Will you be able to come along, Mr. Carson?
I am sorry.
I wish I hadn't seen that.
It's cold out here. Let's go inside.
Why do we watch, any of us? We can't help.
Well, every disaster draws a crowd.
And there must be something wrong with us.
Only that we're human. Allison, disaster's a reminder that besides being schoolgirls and editors and housewives and businessmen, we're all mortal. We're all very vulnerable. And we see that life can turn on us with a terrible suddenness and defeat us. We're bound to stop and take notice.
Nobody wanted this to happen.
Of course not. I'm sure every one of us breathed a small sigh of relief there, but with the grace of God.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And also sometimes there's a twinge of shame because we're all too busy to become involved till it's too late. We're too busy fighting our own battles.
You make everyone sound so alone.
Well, in a sense, we are.
People are good. They do care about each other. I have to believe that.
I know you do.
Otherwise, there's no point in anything. I think it isn't so much that people don't care. They do, but they're afraid to show how much they care. Oh, Uncle Matt, if only we could stop being afraid to love.
Come in, Michael.
How's Julie taking?
She still seems numbed by it all.
Well, George is getting some help. It's help he's needed for a long time. Maybe that'll give us some hope, huh?
She's waiting for you.
Okay.
How is he, Doctor?
Well, Julie, why don't we sit down and talk about it, huh?
Sit down, Julie. I have bad news for you, is that it?
Well, it's a little early to tell whether the news is good or bad.
Oh, maybe I'd better wait in the other room, huh? No, please stay.
Sit down. Julie, George is going to be there for quite a while.
Well, how can you tell so soon? They haven't treated him yet.
The preliminary examinations have shown that George has a manic depressive.
Plain English, please, Doctor.
Well, the manic depressive has periods of extreme happiness followed by gloom and deep depression. In extreme cases, they withdraw from reality. George is already withdrawn.
Is there any hope?
Well, the tests have shown that the brain is free from any physical damage.
Well, if the brain is all right...
I want you to take 2 of these tonight, and then tomorrow follow the label on the bottle. Huh?
I'm not sick, Doctor.
Well, I know that, Julie. Just help you sleep, that's all.
To sleep like George is sleeping. Like a vegetable sleeps. No, thank you, Doctor. Shall I try to get her to take them?
No, I don't think so. She'll be all right.
You look tired.
Well, it's been a long day.
Would you like a drink, coffee or something?
No, I don't think so. I'm just going to go home and get some rest.
This morning when George barricaded himself in the office, was he dangerous?
Any man that shoots a telephone because it's ringing is dangerous, huh?
Then, Elliot took quite a chance, didn't he?
Well, he took more of a chance than any man could. Good night, Connie. Hello, Connie.
Good morning, Elliot.
You look fine. I didn't intend to come and see you. But yesterday, when I brought George Anderson out of his office and I saw you, well, for a moment there it seemed almost like it used to be.
What do you think of our new doctor?
Rossi? Well, he's taking care of my father. I don't know what I think about him yet.
I mean after yesterday.
Well, it didn't take a doctor to know that George was sick.
You were together several hours. You must have talked.
Oh, you mean as a person? Well, he seemed nice enough. Connie, don't be afraid of me.
Why should I be?
I won't embarrass you.
It's not me I'm thinking of.
Allison. How much does she know, Connie?
Nothing.
About me?
Only that you've been in prison. That's all she knows about you. And I don't want her hurt.
I'd never do anything to hurt Allison.
Then you won't tell her.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
Seriously, Elliot, if there's anything I can do, if the chandlery doesn't work out for you, I can always pull a few strings.
Don't wait on it, Leslie.
I sort of wanted to see the files on Elliot Carson's trial.
Why?
I met him this morning, and I liked him. I liked him very much.
Elizabeth was a bad woman.
That's not what I asked you.
Does it matter now?
You think I killed her?
You thought I'm a murderer?